day number 17 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. You know what we're doing here. I'm getting into an ice bath every single day for 5 minutes of 2022. This is something I committed to doing January the 1st, getting into an ice bath all full of ice, as you can see here. Yesterday was the only day I did not get in the Morozco Forge. Yesterday, I was out there, and in fact, I can show you. Right there is the snow angel that I made during my live broadcast yesterday in the snow. The snow is starting to melt somewhat, and it's gotten that kind of crystallized ice kind of stuff on it, so would not be fun to roll around in that today. But I'm ready to get back into the Morozco Forge. It looks like the temperature is a very cool 32.1 degrees Fahrenheit, which for those of you not in America, that's basically 0 degrees Celsius. And yeah, we're going to pop in there for 5 minutes. So today I want to address a topic, once I calm down in there, I want to address a topic that I think needs to be talked about, because people are still mocking me for doing this cold therapy. In fact, just before I came on the air here today, about 5 minutes ago, somebody left a very snarky comment on me rolling around in the snow and was like, well, I'll just do my exercise and I'll leave those ice baths and snow stuff to you, you crazy guy. You know, as if they can't handle the cold. And there's a reason you think you can't handle the cold. And a lot of it has to do with your mind, and things that you can do. So we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Now, it's time to get into the ice bath. So let's set this down. I missed having this set up here yesterday, but we're gonna do it today. There you go. As always, got 5 minutes on the clock. And if you guys are ready, my lid keeps moving around for some reason. All right, we're gonna start the clock. I'm trying not to bust my ass on this snow that's still on the porch. So here we go. Oh, it didn't start. Start, play. There we go. That would have sucked if I started it, but then it didn't start actually. Okay, you guys, so a lot of times people will say, okay, you get into that ice bath, and the first thing your body does is kind of freak out, and it does. Which is why you see me use my breath to slow my heart rate, to ease the concerns in my mind. And look, that is a protective measure. Let's not pretend like the body wants to be in ice cold water. Just like when you touch your hand on a hot stove, you immediately feel the pain of that, so it'll make you move your hand. If you don't feel the pain, you would keep your hand there, and then your hand would get damaged. So one of the things that the brain does is it immediately senses something that's off. And being in ice water is definitely a sensation that is off if you're not used to it. And so when I do the breath, and Wim Hof, we have to give a lot of credit to Wim Hof. If you've not followed, I think he's Iceman Hof here on Instagram, go look him up. And he's done a lot of research on this. He's done a lot of extreme temperature studies on himself. and obviously guided a lot of people through this. They actually did a study on him, and they looked at, okay, how is he able to tolerate that cold so well? And what they found was there are pathways in his brain, and anyone that tolerates ice cold water well, there are pathways in your brain that you hack, that you're able to supersede the pain aspect. And I was just watching another friend go into ice cold water in a lake today for the very first time. She did so well. I was really proud of her. And she was talking about how it was painful. And so I asked her what was painful. Was it painful? She said, well, it wasn't really painful. It was just uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, that's the brain doing what the brain does, getting you out of an uncomfortable situation. But with Wim Hof and other people, including yours truly, because I'm in 32-degree water, and you wouldn't know it, would you? Because my voice is very clear. There is a hack in the brain that when you breathe and when you just turn on this sensation in your body of I'm going to do this and it's going to happen, the brain actually pumps out cannabinoids. So if you've heard of cannabis, obviously, or the endocannabinoid system, it actually will numb pain for you. So whereas this would be very painful for some people, for me, other than my hands still get very numb and I'm feeling them right now, but the rest of my body, I'm doing really, really good. And so 45 seconds left. So opioids also release other kind of pain numbing agents. And so for the people that say, I could never do that, I don't like the cold. No, you don't like the first part of the cold. You have not trained yourself to be able to handle the rest of the cold, and your body can handle it quite well. But it comes with training, which is why you hear me talk about get in a cold shower, put ice in an ice tub, whatever you have to do, and then work your way to doing something like this. All right, 10 seconds left, you guys. That's what I wanted to share today. You can hack your brain to actually tolerate this quite well, and it actually becomes very enjoyable and euphoric. All right. Woo! All right. There's a lot of ice on my porch. I'm going to make sure I don't bust my ass. So. Woo! What up, what up? Fascinating though, right? Where you can convince your brain. My hands were so numb I couldn't even feel that handle when I tried to open the door. You can hack your brain, convince your brain that you're actually euphoric, because you are when you train yourself to do this. Like, I don't think anybody should just jump into an ice bath and you've never done anything before. Baby steps. Put on the training wheels by starting in a cold shower. And I will tell you too, yeah, we've heard of cannabis. I wasn't saying you haven't heard of cannabis, Parkman, but a lot of people didn't realize there were things called endocannabinoid systems in your body where it's a pain reliever that actually is turned on by things like CBD oil. So I've got some CBD oil and I take that every day, and I'm crediting that a little bit as well, that I take CBD, that kind of turns on some of those cannabinoids in my body as well, which help with some of the pain tolerance. So pretty darn interesting how the body getting into an ice bath, everybody thinks it's a physical thing. It's not a physical thing. It is actually a mental thing. And I'm going to harp on this all year long. That everybody, I can't tolerate cold. No, you have convinced your brain that you can't tolerate cold. You can tolerate it just fine. You've just got to train your brain to handle it and turn on those pain relieving receptors. All right, let's go back to the top. Let's see who all's here. Give me a shout out. Parkman's like, come on in, you guys. Are you mocking my beginning? I used to go, what's up, you guys? And then that kind of got old. Then I go, come on in, you guys. It is what it is. I have my sayings. Parkman says saying 0 degrees Celsius sounds so much more impressive. Yeah, because I put down 32 degrees and didn't put the Fahrenheit on one of my reels that I made. And one of my international friends is like, "That's hot, mate." And I'm like, "Oh, Fahrenheit. That would be 0 degrees Celsius." And they're like, "Oh, okay, that's cold." So, but yes, 0 Celsius sounds so much better and more impressive. Debbie says, reminds me of Anne Margaret and grumpy old men going from a sauna into the snow. Yeah. Hey, it works. It's a good chill pill. Karai says, you go. Yes, I went. So I'd love to see you. Thank you. Thank you for watching today. Debbie says, Burr, where I live, we got 14 inches of snow. Well, Debbie, go jump out in your bathing suit. Or if you're in your backyard and you have a privacy fence, do it in your birthday suit. So if I wasn't on camera yesterday, I would have been naked rolling around the backyard. I know that's a bad visual, but it is what it is. Bulletproof Coconut says, go Jimmy. Gabby says, Burr. Yeah, it was cold. But I tolerate it really well. Like, I want you guys to understand. Yes, it's cold. Yes, when I get in there, my body does the little freak out thing, which is why you see me so purposefully and methodically start breathing. Like, I immediately go right to the breath, and I'm trying to calm myself down. Now, at first, it can be a little bit, and this friend that I was telling you about earlier, she got in, and she'd never been in cold water before, and she was in a lake in, like, Wisconsin, I think. And so she was doing like hyperventilating kind of breathing, and that's the last thing you want to do because it makes it worse. So if you can slow down your breathing and enable your body to start to relax, start to slow down your heart rate, you actually will calm down really fast. And you guys see me do that every day. Debbie says, Jimmy, isn't it like when your brain tells you to eat even though you're not hungry? Yes, that is a great analogy. That the brain can give you signals that it doesn't mean what you're interpreting that signal to mean. If you get into an ice bath and it's uncomfortable doesn't mean you're going to die. And yet your brain may tell you, oh my gosh, this is uncomfortable, I'm going to die. No, it's just something different. And so what you do is, by hacking your brain, by breathing, by meditating, kind of just thinking of other things. You guys see that I like laser focus, look straight forward most of the time when I'm starting. That's because I'm focusing in on the breath and on trying to hack into the brain so I can tolerate the pain. And it's not painful. This is the thing. People are like, that looks so painful. I'm like, okay, other than the hands while I was in there, which by the way, they're all the way back. They're warm and it's great. But they were numb, I guess, within 2-3 minutes in there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You get better at it the more you do it. How long do you stay in the ice tub? So thank you, Jay Gotti. I stay in for 5 minutes, but I've done this for 3 years. People are like, I can't do 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, don't. Like, do what you can tolerate. I know some people, they get in and they're out in 30 seconds. Other people, my friend Metabolic Mike Mutzel, he's in for 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the afternoon. That's how he does his. I choose to do 1 5-minute session. And a lot of the experts talk about, you know when to get out when you start to feel shivering. And I'm like, I can't do that because I was in there 5 minutes and I never shivered. I've been out now about 5 minutes and I'm still not shivering. I usually shiver about 30 to 45 minutes after being out of it. And yes, I drip dry, by the way. I don't towel off. I do towel off when I turn off the camera, but I don't try to warm up. I don't put on a warm robe. I don't try to turn on heat and purposely try to get warmer. I want my body to warm itself up. And I see people talk about ice baths all the time. Oh, I want to do an ice bath. I need to immediately go to a sauna or immediately go to a hot tub or immediately. And it's like you're defeating the purpose of why you made your body cold. I make my body cold so that my body has to kick in the metabolic responses to start warming it up. That's what the shivering, by the way, does. And I saw something today, the Morozco Forge people put it on their Instagram page, that shivering that you get after an ice bath, this is going to blow your mind, guys. the shivering that you get after an ice bath and that kind of release that comes from that is a release. It's the same kind of release, and it can be helpful for those of you who deal with trauma in your past, either childhood, something happened in your life. The release that you need to let go of some of that trauma happens from the shivering that takes place in cold therapy. Now, how cool is that? I shared that with my friend Brittany, who I do a podcast with called the One Step Deeper podcast. And she thought that was neat. She thought that was really cool. But yeah, so many benefits outside of the physicality of it. Just that alone, the whole trauma release was just amazing. And it makes sense because you become more zen, you become more calm after you've been in cold therapy. You down with CBD? Yeah, you know me. See, I'm old school Parkman. I remember down with OPP. How much more effective is this for immune system than getting the jab? Well, I think you know my answer to that one. Smile says, my comment was reported. I was asking a serious question. I did the whole body grounding in my backyard to ground myself. I don't know what you're talking about as far as reported. I was asking a serious question. Where did you post this question? I'm just now reading your comment here. I did the whole body grounding in my backyard to ground myself. Great. That's awesome. I think I did that somewhat yesterday, being in the snow in the ground. So taking baby steps to an ice bath by ending my shower with cold water. That is the way to do it. Take your shower, guys. Same temperature as you always do. Don't modify the temp for your shower. Have your shower like you always do. And then at the very end, just kind of nudge it down and breathe your way down as cool as you can possibly get. This time of year might be a little hard because especially in the mornings, that water can be extremely cold. And yeah, start there. Rinse off for a minute or two and tolerate it. Get up to it. I can tell you what happened for me. The reason I can handle 5 minutes in 32-degree water, ice water now, is I used to do cold showers. Hold on to your hats. I used to be in the cold shower on the coldest setting for an hour. I would turn on the water and I would get that initial, and I'm starting to shiver, by the way, just now. I can feel it shivering. I would get in there and of course it would be cold and I would have to get all over my head and the back of my neck and kind of move around. But once I got used to it, then it became euphoric. Then that hacking into the brain, allowing me to tolerate it more, I didn't want to get out. And then when you do finally get out and you dry off and there's just this kind of, you're just floating. It's just a cool feeling. So 5 minutes in 32-degree water, I'm used to doing an hour in 40s, 50s water. So it's pretty cool because when I started buying the ice from Sam's Club and putting it in my bathtub, that water was probably easily in the 40s. Out of the spigot in the shower on the coldest setting, it was probably in the 50s, 60s. So, and now this is 32. I've been doing this for a couple of months. I noticed it took me a couple hours to get really warm. Any advice, says Care Eyes. Look, I think if you let your body try to warm itself for the first hour after you're out, your body has done something, okay? So if you're still uncomfortably cold at that point, then yes, go put on a sweater, get under a blanket, whatever you need to do to warm up at that point. I do these baths at 5 o'clock, and normally I'm in bed by 7:30, and I'm still chilly, by the way, too, because I don't turn on the heat in here. I keep it pretty cool in here. This is where I sleep upstairs, and so I'll get in the bed some nights, and I'm still really cold from the ice bath from 2 hours ago. And so, yeah, don't feel bad if you need to do that, but at least give your body an hour where it's exposed to having to try to warm you up, because it's doing something in you. Now tonight at 6 o'clock in about 45 minutes, I'm going on camera and I'm doing an interview with someone who's got this new ketone drink that's like a hard seltzer. And on camera, I'm going to be drinking those. I'm going to be testing my ketones and da-da-da. So I hope I'm not shivering during that interview, because usually I'm able to just kind of chill out over here, but I'll be on in my recording studio here shortly. Ooh, in the snow. Yes, I did in the snow. If you missed it yesterday, go watch my whole video yesterday. I also made a reel about it with an inspirational little thing today that's gotten a lot of attention. A lot of people are like, you crazy? Or, wow, that's cool. One day you got to give us the tour of my property. I've done that before, especially a lot of my biohacking things that I have around here. But yes, one of these days. So, guys, day number 17 in the can. I need to get off of here because I need to go dry off, put on some clothes for the camera, because I'm not going to be like this on the camera. I will have the lights down low, maybe like a little jazz music in the background. The easy sounds of Jimmy Moore. Hopefully not getting drunk on camera. By the way, my sleep last night was incredible. After being in the snow, I was a little like, okay, is that going to be the same as being in the... Yes, it was very, very good, my sleep. And so always check my sleep on my stories. If you missed it over on Instagram, go check out and you can see what my sleep is. And I had almost 4 hours of REM and deep combined. So that's always really, really nice when you get that. So, all right, you guys, how are the toes? Parkman wants to know. So I was just looking at them a while ago. They're going to be scarred. Like they got cut open pretty bad. Those of you that did not know and haven't been watching and following along, day number 6, I get into the Morozko Forge and I slide my feet in at the bottom, not realizing there's a sheet of ice down there that had parts of it broken off. Well, at the broken off part, it was very sharp, and it cut my second and third toe on my right foot. And immediately I knew something was wrong because I went, ow, ow. I made like a little reel about it. And little did I know, I cut them wide open. And so anyway, I've been putting all kinds of ointments and creams and Band-Aids, and they're getting better. The pain is not as bad. They still throb a little bit. But I look at them and I go, okay, yeah, that's going to be like 2 big old scar tissues over those. But getting better, Parkman. Thank you for asking. And Debbie, thank you. Have a great night yourself. I'm going to get off of here now, you guys. Got to go get ready for my podcast. But thank you so much for watching. This has been fun. Are you doing cold showers? I want to know. Tell me all about it. Pop into my DMs over on Instagram. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Would love to see you in there if you have started doing it. And look, if you get in an ice bath or go into a lake or something, tag me in a post that you do, tag me in a story, and I will repost you on my page, because I would love to start this. It looks like 2022 is the year of cold therapy, the year of ice baths. I'm seeing everybody at least try them for the first time. So that makes me very, very happy. All right, you guys, I'm out of here for now. We'll see you next time.